Welcome to the Home and Away podcast. This is the long-awaited, mostly my fault, episode 5 of season 2. I'm Kaleb Lawrence, joined as always by my brother and co-host Jakob Cobby. How we doing on this fine Monday?
I am good, bro. How about yourself?
Good, man.
A little day off work for MLK Junior
Little
Day,
day
huh?
off. Yeah, MLK. Obviously nice to get the day off. Trying to take some time today, make sure we're remembering the reason for it, not just appreciating the day off, So spend some time with the
Reflect on the sacrifices that Dr. King made a little bit,
absolutely. Spent some time with little man this morning, dropped him off at daycare, had a couple errands to run before doing this, and Melissa's covering basketball practice today. Basketball AT's little guy is 6, so Melissa's covering for her, and we're just rocking. So that's all we got over here.
Speaking of North Dakota State University basketball, I don't know what his name is, but Buddy's blowing up right now. He done went viral for punching on somebody crazy, and then I saw he went viral on Twitter for like his highlight tape was going viral. It was getting shared around crazy. What's his name?
Grant Nelson.
Dude kind of got a little shits to him for how like he looks big, bro. He looks tall.
Yeah, he's big. He's like 6'11". Like I would say 6'11".
Yeah,
he's
for how tall
lanky
he is,
shit.
I'm saying like he got a little.
He does. He got some shits to him. So I don't know how to take him, right? As a person who previously at not as high of a level in a very short period of time. So I want to get that out there, right? Like evaluated and recruited basketball players.
Yeah.
I don't know it's hard to really assess what he is. So like most of the highlights are Summit League games, and I would say in the Summit League he's one of the best players in the Summit League, period. And I think he's technically a sophomore.
But isn't North Dakota State struggling this year though? Sorry.
So started off really bad. Kind of turned it around a little bit. Let me see.
But they had a tougher non-conference schedule though, right? Like they played KU and somebody else big, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, they started with KU and Arkansas, so they had tough non-con. They're up to 8-11 overall, and they're actually second in the conference. They're 5-2 in the conference. So
they're good for their conference. They just were struggling maybe in their non-conference schedule a little bit.
They're really young, to be honest. Like they were picked to finish towards the bottom, but really young. But Grant is really talented, really skilled, especially for his size. The only thing that like I struggle with, because there's people around here who are like, oh, he should transfer Power 5, like he's easily a Power 5 guy, like he should go there for sure. And I think there's potential for that. My biggest thing is every time I've seen him play a Power 5 school, he gets bullied a little bit. Like
he's a little thin, though, he looks like, huh?
He's thin, yeah. Like the size and the athleticism gets to him a little bit. Like out here in like Summit League games, most games he's the most athletic dude. Like,
yeah,
you can see in the video, he's super bouncy, he's super talented, like finishes well, everything. But like, I don't know if it just like turns on and off a little bit, or he has moments. And again, I think he's by playing age of sophomore, because of the COVID year. So like, there's still plenty of time for him to even be like an NBA draft prospect if that's the way it goes. But like, every time I've seen him play like better talent, like when they played Creighton last year, he struggled. Obviously, when you're the key guy on like,
yeah, but if you go play, like when you play a bigger school though, and they scout you heavy, and
right,
like,
and
they've got these level of athletes, they've probably got 1 or 2 of them, or maybe even 3 or 4. It's going to be definitely a little more challenging. I think it's also something that you would get used to if you played that level on a regular
100%. I think like you see different guys move to different levels and have different levels of success, right? Like, I mean, you can even go example Ryan Hawkins, like went from Northwest to Creighton and really didn't miss a beat, like, but they played a similar style, and like he fit really well in that, and he always was someone who was considered a really good defender and like made shots. So kind of fit like a role still there. He wasn't trying to go. Like, and then there's guys who I think would be successful no matter where they went. Like you have Trevor Hudgens, also Northwest. Like if he would have went Power Five, like I think he would have been successful as well. He's seen
Hmm.
success in the G League, but like you're also gonna have certain games where you're just overpowered. So like that point is not lost on me at all. Like it could just be that he is one, especially this year, you go play Arkansas and Kansas, you're the best player on the team. Like they're gonna like
In
they basically
Arkansas,
have
and
one thing. They're not gonna let them beat you. Like
yeah, I know Arkansas has a ton of freaks,
right. Like
freaking freak athletes.
they're not gonna let that one guy beat them. They know as long as he doesn't do anything, like they should be fine.
Hmm.
And if you're a low major going to play against these high majors, not even like just regular high majors, like top at the time, both were top 10 teams in the country, I think. So like you're gonna get kind of keyed in on a little bit. So I understand the numbers wise, but I think there's um potential for him to get there. I think it's a bit skewed, like the highlights to show and like the comments with it, like dude's gonna be a lottery pick this year. No, like that's just not that's just not the case. But
But
I
I
think
mean,
there's potential.
that's just how like the
That's how
hype up, like
that's how
that's
social
just
media is.
how,
Yeah.
and anybody can
Yeah.
have like a fire ass highlight tape. Like,
Right.
I mean, and I'm not saying
Let's
he's
get
not nice. Like, he looks nice. Like, bro, you can't have that. Not everybody can have like that fire highlight tape. His highlight tape is
right.
fire.
His highlight tape is nasty because he's got the
Because
shits
he's
to him
like
and he
big and
punches
he's
on
like,
people.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
dunking on folks and stuff, and like he's moving
Right.
hella
Like
good for
it's
how big he is.
different.
So his highlight tape
This
is
shit's
fire.
nice.
But I'm just saying, like you know how people are gonna like hype it up. They see a big
Right.
person basically looking like a big like wing guard, and like they're immediately gonna
Right.
start thinking like,
From
oh, lottery, like KD comparisons or something like that.
right.
Like, yeah, but I mean, it is what it is.
From
But
from what I've seen, from what I understand, not from what I've seen, like he was a kid who like shot up a bunch, like height wise.
oh, so he was
Like
like guard before probably.
right. Like I
Yeah.
don't I think he's like continued to grow in his couple years of college so far.
Mhm.
So like he's just gotten
Gotcha.
bigger and bigger and like more athletic even and obviously had some skill because he wasn't always the biggest guy. So he's from North Dakota. I think at this point, like people are considering him one of the best players to come out of North Dakota.
Really?
Obviously, he's no Jeff Boshi, but
He's from North Dakota?
yeah, Jeff Boshi. From the people that I've talked to, Jeff Boshi is the best player to ever come out of North Dakota, bro.
Really?
Yeah, went to KU. I mean,
I mean, they
tough
don't
to
got like
beat.
no, like not a single league dude ever to just come out of North Dakota. Like, I mean, there's like league dudes out of freaking Alaska. So
Um,
you would think
Doug
there'd be
McDermott was technically born in North Dakota.
okay, I guess. But he didn't
His
grow up there though, did he?
no, his dad was coaching at UND whenever he was born. So like first,
And then he went coached at Northern Iowa, right? After that,
yeah, and then Creighton.
then Creighton, yeah. So it's not like he
Let's
like
get
went to high school there and grew up there.
let's
So it's
get
not.
let's get off topic right from the start. We're talking about
We're already
highlight
off
tape.
topic,
Who's
kind of.
your who's your favorite? What's your favorite highlight tape you've ever seen? What's your favorite one?
Um, before I answer this question,
Let's talk hoop mixtape.
before I answer this question, maybe we could. Nah, I don't know if there's enough highlight tapes. I was gonna say maybe we could draft them.
You want to draft them?
We don't have a
That
draft.
one would need some research though. That
Oh,
one would need some research.
I got a couple in the chamber. You
I
need
mean, I have
research for
some.
that?
I have some, like, but I don't know that I have 10 because you need at least 10. You know.
Yeah, just in case I
But I
take
have some.
yours.
Oh,
Hey, hold up, but
let's
pause
side
though.
table it and
Let me pause this recording actually real
yeah.
quick though. Okay, we had to get Caleb situated. Sorry if there was any echo. I was hearing a little bit of an echo, and so I made him put headphones on. But my favorite mixtape of all time, or at least what I think is the coldest one, is a tough question. And we did talk about it, and I think we're gonna draft it some other time. So I won't necessarily give up my number one pick, but I'll say for me, the craziest mixtape is probably between, man, the one I used to watch a lot was Akil Carr, which is a low key one.
Right.
Not low key in like mixtape area, like everybody's who watched Hoop Mixtape back in that, like the Hoop Mixtape Prime, they know who Akil Carr is, but like the name is a low key name now
Right.
because
Like
he
the
didn't.
low key basketball player.
Yeah, because I think he didn't go to. I don't think he went to college anywhere or anything. I think he tried to go like overseas or something maybe, and then
Yeah, I
didn't work
think so.
out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know he does some stuff with ball in his life now, but he's still a bucket, like 5'3", I think, bucket, and he was getting on that rim. That one, and then the John Wall was crazy. The John Wall was
I mean,
stupid.
I know my favorite for sure.
Like but I want to give it to
Uh,
Zion too because his was so crazy, but at the same time, like his competition level was so trash that
bro,
it's hard for me to give it to
this
him.
was so funny. It was like Zion coming out here playing in like the Mississippi Valley Conference.
Yeah, bro, literally.
And we ain't talking like the Valley College level, like
Talking
our high
about
school
we're
conference,
talking about CM Triad, Jerseyville, Highland, Mascuda.
where the centers were like 6 foot farm Gavins.
Yeah, there was a lot of 3, 6'4" dudes in there though that was just strong as shit, and the refs wouldn't give me a single
Right.
call, and they was pushing me all the way up and down the court, all 94, and I'm just like,
Oh, look at that. Cop
damn,
complaining about referees again. Who would have thought?
bro, you
Who
know it
would
was
have ever
bad.
thought?
You know it was bad in high school for the big fella.
I had a worse temper when you was playing in high school. I used to yell at the refs all the time. I would be embarrassed after games sometimes between yelling at refs and yelling at other kids, bro. I'd be embarrassed sometimes.
Heck, I was embarrassed sometimes when I was yelling at the refs.
Uh, gotta love it, man. Sometimes the temper just gets the best at you. I'll be yell at refs in men's league games, bro. I'll just let them have it. And there's dudes that I'll talk to him before the game, talk to him after, and during the game, I'm just on them, yelling at
What's
them.
what's your pick for mixtapes?
Austin Rivers for sure.
Yeah, that was your guy though for a little while.
He was. Remember when he used to play 2K his rookie year, and he would
Yeah,
just
he was
windmill
him.
on. He
He
would
was
just dive
him.
down the lane and windmill on
He
people.
was one of them 2K cards that was just crazy. Kind of like Gerald Green back in the day used to be really good too on 2K.
Hey,
He
people
was with
don't
like the
really
Suns.
understand, bro. Like, we never had online until like, I don't know, you went to college maybe, like
Yeah.
maybe a couple years before. Bro, we was just straight playing each other.
Yeah, we never had it until
Like,
I went to college because like you didn't
yeah,
take the Xbox with you for your first 2 years of college.
right,
Like you just
right,
left it at home because you really like I mean because what were you gonna do? Like you're just gonna play against your roommate or
right.
something, I
Play it,
guess. So like
right.
you didn't take it and I was playing it a bunch and then like I got graduation money and I like took the Xbox and I was like, yeah, can I just trade it in and get like a
You got a PlayStation.
PS4? So I got a
There you
PS4
go.
and then that's whenever I got on online and I started playing with my friends and stuff.
Right. Because before that, we was literally just playing play now against each other.
Bro, okay. But now that you bring that up, and we're way off topic now, but to bring that up, I have to tell the story of the taking the door off the hinges, bro. I want to say, I want to say we were playing MLB 2K. I think that's what we were playing because they didn't have the show, for the show they didn't have
We're-
on Xbox.
we
So
were
I want to
playing
say we were
MLB.
playing it.
We
I want to
weren't
say
playing ML. We weren't playing NBA 2K.
No, I want to say we were playing MLB because it was a game I usually didn't beat you in. I think I could get you in 2K sometimes, but I never really beat you. I don't think that much in
Yeah.
MLB whenever we were young. Like now I smack
Okay.
you in MLB the
Okay.
show all the time. I don't know the last time you beat me, to
No,
be honest.
that's not true.
I really don't. On Diamond
That's
Dynasty,
just
I
an
don't know the
untrue
last time you
statement.
beat me, bro. I
Because we
don't.
haven't played, bro. That
I be
see now you're
cooking you,
just
bro.
talking nonsense, bro.
But I want
Just
to say it was like
nonsense.
MLB 2K. I don't know. The game is not the story. But I like Caleb was always beating me a lot. I feel like whenever we were in like high school, I may have even been in like middle school and you in high school at this time. I don't know how
Right.
old we were. Like probably
Right.
around that age. I was probably I feel like 13, 14, and you were probably like
Shit. Old enough to know better.
you were probably 15 or 16.
Old
And
enough to know better.
yeah, dumb enough to not care. And we were playing and I beat Caleb and like it's a rare occurrence. So I'm a little geeked up and I beat him. And I remember like it was a lot of trash talk going on during the game or something, but I beat him. And I think I just kind of smiled and like I set down my controller and just started to walk out the room. Caleb was a little hot. He's like, he's like, you don't want to turn off the TV? You don't want to turn off the system? Like mad at me for not turning off the system or the TV. And he's still sitting by the TV and system. Mind you, we're in a bedroom. So it's not that like, it's not like you have to walk across the room to turn it off. He like stands up, he can reach them both. Like bing, bing, turn them both off. But he was just mad at me, I think, because Usually I might turn off the TV, he press a button on the system or something, I guess. But I think he was just mad because he lost. And I'm like, bro, you're right there. Turn it off. He's like, oh, you don't want to turn the system or something. He got a little hot. He comes over to like try and grab me or something, and like, he wants to get a little physical. He wants to rough me up a little bit. So I take off down the stairs. Boom, 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 all hardwood. Probably sounds like a damn stampede down the stairs. And I probably said something smart to like make him chase after me crazy too. And dude's chasing after me full speed, full sprint. And I run into the kitchen. And in our kitchen, we have an area where if you go into the kitchen, there's a little cutout to the left, and there's the washer and dryer there. And then there's a bathroom also to the left of the washer and the dryer. We call it like the secret bathroom because you don't really notice that it's in there unless you know it's there. And so I run, and for some reason I take a left into there. I think maybe I was going to try and go in like the bathroom and close the door. And I go in there though, and he catches up to me like when I hit that left. And the only thing there is like a wall on the end, or I guess a window technically, but the bathroom door is open. And this dude just grabs me and like kind of like gives me one of them like bully moves where you like grab him and push him against the wall. And he like slams me up against the door. Like boom. And then I think at that moment we was both like, oh. And we look over and the door is just ripped off both hinges.
The door is no longer connected.
The door is no longer connected to the door frame. And we're like, oh fuck. And like I think mom and dad were probably not there at the time, I'm guessing, because usually if we wild out like that, like we was probably home alone.
Yeah.
And so then we're like, I just remember like trying to figure out like, what are we gonna say? What are we gonna do? I don't even remember what we ended up saying. And I don't think remember. Mom and dad were really that mad.
Mom was like mad, but like, I don't know. They just put a different style of door on there.
They put like a accordion door or whatever it's called.
Now, like people don't realize, bro. Like I'll tell them and be like, yeah, me and my brother, we're 2.5 years apart. We're best friends. And they're like, really? Like my kids are 2 years apart and they just fight all the time. And I'm like, yeah. Like,
yeah,
we literally fought like we fought like all the time. Not like argued with each other. Like we were swinging at each other.
Not swinging crazy.
Rules.
Mostly like
we had rules.
Wrestling and like body shots.
Yeah, we had rules, no punches in the face. Like every once in a while it would escalate to that. But we were fighting like all the time and then going to hang out together afterwards. Like we were best friends, but we were scrapping for sure. And people don't think one can be a part of the other one. And it's just the way it is.
Yeah, that was for sure the most heated gaming moment I think we've ever had, though.
Most heated gaming. The most heated fighting moment is probably when you broke my nose in the car. That was probably
or when I dropped you in the living room, maybe.
Yeah, no,
when we were home alone.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
When I socked you and dropped that kid, I had that boy looking like Bambi. I had that boy looking like Bambi, yo. Trying to take his first steps.
Couch. You dove off the couch
because I'm sitting on the couch like this, chilling, and you come up and go crack. I was like, damn. I stood up and you started to run away. I laid out, buddy. Gets up like, what the hell, bro? You went limp for a good little like 0.3 seconds, bro. You went limp and fell down.
It shook me for sure. But hey, we don't do that no more. We gotta set the right message for the little man.
Yeah, for sure. I think the last time we probably fought was whenever you threw that basketball at my face as hard as you could.
That was
but we didn't even like physically fight. We just yelled at each other. Or I yelled at you and then you got upset because you were leaving for North Dakota.
Time. It was a highly emotional time.
And I got in trouble for yelling at you for throwing a miniature basketball as hard as you could at my face.
Mom knew the circumstances of the situation. That's why.
That's true.
I don't know that there's a way we get this back on track, but let's
all right. Well, we talked a little bit about college basketball already, but I guess before we really go any farther, I think we were supposed to add an intro, but just part of the reason why we've been gone for so long was just like the holidays happened and Riley came to visit me here in Moodish, so we were hanging out and I was just trying to spend as much time as I could with her because we don't get to see each other very often, especially during the season. And then like you were busy around the holiday season.
Yeah. End of the year is a busy time at the bank,
Bank is busy. Yeah. So it was just not really lining up. And like we knew we wanted to take kind of a break for like I mean, like Christmas weekend, we knew we probably weren't going to record anything, on like, because I think Christmas fell on a Saturday or Sunday this year. So like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, we're not going to record a
Yeah.
podcast. And then New Year's was the next week.
And you had a
So
decent amount of road games too.
yeah, I had road games and I was getting home late. And then on Sunday, Kaleb might be busy. So it was just like not really lining up. So
Yeah, that's my day to get buckets. It's the
yeah,
Lord's day and the day to get buckets.
yeah. The day of resting these jumpers in the net. I don't know. That didn't make sense.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Anyway, how has the season been, right? We've had
Yeah.
probably like five or six games since we last spoke. How are we
Yeah.
feeling?
I mean, since we last spoke, I've been playing a lot better and the team has been playing a lot better. I mean, the thing that's crazy is you look at our record right now, and I think we're 5-9, I think, after Sunday's game or Saturday's game. After Saturday's game, I think we're 5-9. But it's like we lost by 1 point um against Ploiești at home. We lost by 2 possessions against Cebu on the road, which was a game like we felt like we could have won because we ended up beating them the second time we played them. We lost in double overtime at Pitești. We lost in overtime at Craiova. And I mean, it would have been a big upset, but we were leading Cluj through 3 quarters, and then they finally went on their run that they're kind of known for. Like Cluj is like the best team in the league. So, but I mean, 4 of those games, you look at that, there's 4 games that we lost by 1 possession, 2 possessions, or an overtime. We win those 4. We're sitting at 9-5, and we're sitting at third in our division, and we're looking really, really good. Like great outlook on, the playoffs, or like, because this year they split it up into 2 divisions. There's 9 teams on each side. So the top 5 plays the top 5 from the other side in the second round after you play everybody from your side twice, which this round ends. We have 2 more games. So it ends at the end of this month. So in February, we'll start the the second round. And then the bottom 4 plays the bottom 4. And basically you're just playing to like not get relegated to stay in the league and stuff. So like basically after this, I don't think we really have a chance. Like, I don't think statistically we have a chance, even if we win our last 2 games. Well, unless people lose their last 2 games, we might have a chance to get into top 5. But I don't think the numbers are adding up though, honestly. But anyway, so you're looking at a possibility where the season could be completely opposite, basically. I mean, we could be 9-5 instead of 5-9, like that. Like, it's not unrealistic to say, with all the close games that we've had. So that's tough. I think we learned, like, a lot of those close games were really early in the season that we didn't finish, and now we're learning how to finish games. So that's been fun. I think we've won 3 out of our last 5. Our only 2 losses have been to the top 2 teams in the league. So like those are losses that like you kind of, I don't want to say you expect, but like it's like you're really gonna have to play like your best basketball, absolutely, and you're gonna have to have them have maybe a couple guys have off nights. So
Right.
so it's like, I'll just say it, you don't expect to lose those games. You go into every game feeling like you can win, and like I mean, we had a chance against both those teams. We were like leading at one point in the game, and it's just games that I think whenever you're looking at your schedule beforehand, you're like, okay, we should beat these teams. It's like, okay, we can lose to these teams and still be fine, So
Right.
that's all it is. But I think personally, I've been playing a lot better. I've been getting a lot more minutes. Have seen my role increase a lot, especially like in the second half, because the way the rules are here, you have to play 2 Romanians in the first half, and one of our best Romanian players is same position as me. He plays the 5, so it's like tough for me to get on the court in the first half sometimes, because then some of our other better Romanian players are 4 men. So I usually play the 5 or the 4. So it's tough for me to get on the court sometimes in the first half, but then in the second half, usually I'm playing a lot of minutes. Like last game we played, I played the entire second half because you only have to have 1 Romanian on the court in the second half. So me and the big fella have been playing pretty well together, actually. And we'll see how it goes the rest of the season. Hopefully we can keep trending upward like we have been. And Man, the support of the fans here though has been really great. Like we sold out a couple games in a row, I think. I mean, our arena is like a decent sized arena. It's probably like 1,500 to 2,000, somewhere around there. I don't know, honestly. Probably 1,500, I would say. But like I think there was, close to, or if not 1,500 people at the Cluj game, and it was rocking in there. We got a win against Targaju, and it was pretty packed. At least I would say 75% capacity almost every game this season. So it's been really, really fun to play here and like a really good atmosphere. And the people here have been great, honestly. So I can't complain. I think from that standpoint, I think it's been one of like the better experiences. Definitely the best fan base I've played for. Probably the most like the least stressful probably atmosphere I've played in, as far as like the coaches putting a lot of pressure on you, or the sponsors, or the like GM like putting pressure. Like, I mean, obviously they expect you to do well, and like they have pressures on themselves, but I don't think they project that onto the players. And I think that's a good thing. They let us play our game. Like, I feel like we all play with confidence. They instill a lot of confidence in me to like take my shots and stuff. I mean, right now I'm shooting like 44% from three, which is best of my career. And I think a big part of that is honestly just my coaches telling me like getting mad at me if I don't shoot when I'm open. Whereas like last year I had a coach who was telling me like, oh, you can't shoot from the right side. Like, okay, like, so then like you're second guessing every shot you take or something, because your coach doesn't believe in you and stuff like that. And like, yeah, I feel like these are the coaches that I enjoyed playing for probably the most, just because they feel like they actually believe in me. Even at the beginning of the year when I wasn't getting a ton of minutes, like I was still shooting the ball well and stuff, and my percentages were still great. And I think that goes to show, like, even though I wasn't playing well and I wasn't playing a ton, like these guys were still telling me, like when I would go in the game, like, hey, we need you to go in and shoot the ball, switch it up for the big fella, because big shots is in there more so in the block, hook shots and stuff like that. And I come in, space the floor a little bit. So it's been a good year, bro. It's been a good year. I wish we would have won those close games, but I think, uh, yeah, we just gotta win as many games as we could possibly can the rest of the year. No matter what, whether it's top 5, bottom 4, whatever it is, like win as many games and put ourselves in the highest position in the league as we can.
For
That's what I'd
sure.
say.
I don't mean to take us out of the serious basketball conversation into something a little more lighthearted. But most of the people who listen to this podcast, watch this podcast, I would assume that they follow you on Instagram, where you had a bit of a referee tirade the other day. Would you like to take this time, air any grievances you might have?
I mean, it's just I don't really want to speak anymore on it that much, but I think it's just tough that the players seriously, I think it's tough that the players can get these technical fouls and these fines and stuff like that, and the refs can take money out of their pockets, and there's nothing to police the refs. So police the refs. That's all I gotta say.
Right. There's not like a 2-minute report and all that stuff like you
Yeah.
get
Yeah. It's not like the NBA
in
or
the
even
NBA.
in
Nope.
college where even in
Right.
college where you can at least, maybe like write, and I know like you can like kind of send in some calls like, hey, this is some
Right.
BS or something. You know what I mean? Like at least some
Right. Just have
accountability.
some review,
There's
little
just not
checks
really
and
any level of
balances.
accountability for anybody. So it's just tough.
Right.
That's all I'll
But
say.
I mean,
They do their
that's
they do
fair.
their best job, I'm sure, but you know, I do my
It is
best
what it
damn
is.
job too, and I freaking land on people's feet on a 3-point attempt, and it's a no call. But you know, yeah, let's not protect the players, but it's okay. It's whatever.
All right, next next topic. We'll move it along. Shouldn't have brought it up. That's on me.
Yeah,
Let's
it's a tough
dive
one.
in. Let's dive in. A little bit of NBA. I mean NFL play. No, let's touch NBA first. We'll keep it in the basketball realm. I know there's just simply one thing we wanted to touch on, realistically, and that's your guy Jokic.
Hmm.
We're talking Monday, last night, Sunday night had a game-winning step back three, the most casual game winner I may have ever seen in terms of both move slash shot and reaction. Like just unbelievable by Jokic and from back to back MVPs. I know you're you're of the camp that he deserves the third one coming here. A lot of
100%.
good contenders for the MVP race right now. But talk to me about the shot, Jokic, a little
Slow
bit about
ass.
his MVP.
First of all, dude does a slow ass dribble and then literally just steps backwards, like
Yeah,
directly
like
backwards, like not like a step back where you kind of to the
just
side.
literally takes
One
a
dribble and
step
takes one
backwards.
big right foot back and just lets it fly, and like does it slowly too. I feel like it was the epitome of his game. Honestly, he's never
So
rushed.
disrespectful.
He's never
So
rushed.
disrespectful.
And he makes tough shots on a regular basis, on a nightly basis. And yeah, I'm of the camp that he should win a third MVP in a row. Let me read you some stats. I pulled them up just so I could read them to you, because when I saw them, I didn't even realize they were that good. First of all, let's say this: Nuggets, first seed in the West right now.
Does matter.
Does matter.
Does matter.
It has mattered recently. You think Giannis would have? I don't know if Giannis would have won those MVPs if he wouldn't have been the best team in the East. The Bucks.
I agree.
You know, I mean, he was having incredible seasons, but you know what I'm saying? So Jokic this year, Jamal Murray's back, right? So he don't have to score it as much. So he's down from 27 to 25 points per game, 24.7. But his rebounds are at 11 per game, and his assists, he's averaging 9.8 assists per game. If this man averages a triple-double at the center position, you have to give him the MVP. If he averages a triple-double at the center position, you have to give him the MVP. That's never, that's unheard of, I feel like. Third thing here that I want to point out. So not only is he almost averaging triple-double, 25, 11, and 10, this man is shooting right now 62% from the field. His last two MVP seasons, he got 58 and 56. So he's shooting 62% from the field, 37 from three, almost 40, 81 from the line, which is on par with the rest of his career. So essentially, he's one of the most efficient players in the league. And he's almost averaging a triple-double. And his team is the best team in the Western Conference. I don't know. Sounds like an MVP to me.
I mean, I agree. Maybe we dive a little bit more into the analytical stats in the next couple pods here just to get a real idea of it. But it's hard to disagree with that.
And people are saying he's up there. So, I mean, it's not unrealistic.
No. Everything that I've heard said that he's up there. I think it's like for some reason just really hard to get that third one, in a row, especially like
voters fatigue.
It feels like people don't want to do it. But I could get on board with being in that camp. I don't know who I want to win personally right now.
I know a lot of people are on Jason Tatum's.
Which, I mean, tough for us to not be on Jason Tatum as well, right?
Oh, I mean, that's a bit of bias. If it's not Jokic, I mean, I would hope it's Tatum.
Right. It's a bit of bias. Like it's a bit weird because
I know Luka's up there, I think, as well in the MVP race. Yeah. Other than those three, I'm not really sure.
Especially in the NBA, I've always been more of like a players guy than like a team guy. We've never, there's no NBA team bias, so we've never really been. And like once Austin got picked up by the Lakers, it's like, oh yeah, I like the Lakers, but also Jason Tatum plays for the Celtics, and I'm like, oh yeah, St. Louis, rock with Jason Tatum. But you can't really do that. That's a little bit disrespectful to both teams when it's the Celtics and the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Lakers guy since Austin got there last year. So Lakers are my squad, but I think my favorite teams as far as like teams to watch, are probably Memphis and Ja is really fun to watch.
John Morant.
Ja is really fun to watch. He was one of my favorite college players. So like when he was at Murray State, he just dunked.
He's been dunking on everybody.
And then the other team that I like to watch, dude, I'm so stupid.
Drawing a blank here.
I drew a blank. There was like a team the other day that I was like, man, I love watching them play. Now I can't remember who it is. Now I feel stupid.
You got any of their players?
I know Memphis. I know Memphis has been one of my favorite teams to watch since last year.
I can truly say that I've watched more Lakers games than any team in the NBA. I would say that since Austin got there as well, I have been a Lakers guy pretty faithfully. They are not the most fun team to watch. Like,
Yeah.
I will say
No, they
that
aren't. They don't move
they're
the
not the most
ball the
fun.
greatest
No,
and stuff. Yeah, I think Memphis
when
shares the
they
ball a little bit better
yeah, when
than
they
them.
get out going, like I also like everybody hates it. I'll probably catch some heat for that. Like the Warriors, when the Warriors are good, are so fun to watch.
They are. They are really fun to watch. Like it's really good basketball. It's kind of like reminiscent a little bit of like the Spurs, the way they share the ball and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, but I think I like watching the Mavs too, just because I like watching Luca.
Luka's insane.
That's really it.
Luka's literally insane, bro. Insane.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive into some NFL. First week of the playoffs over. First thing I'll talk about. I know you want to get into a couple predictions, talk about Lamar a bit. I
Yep.
just have to laugh. Living up here, I've
God,
literally the
you gonna
entire.
throw him under the you gonna throw him under the
I've
bus?
listen the entire year, bro. I've been like, people have been like, come cheer for the Vikings because I'm literally like, I don't know who to cheer for. Like, I don't have an NFL team. The Rams left, so I was like, I just can't. It feels weird to root for the Rams. Like I kind of dad likes the Raiders. I kind of like the Raiders. But like also, whatever. They also suck, so I know that's wishy washy. But the people were like the Vikings, man. Like we have Dalvin Cook, we have Justin Jefferson. Like we're exciting to watch play football. And I said the entire time, listen, you might think that I'm flip flopping. I'm not. The entire time I said I will not root for a team that has Kirk Cousins playing quarterback for him. That
Ooh
is
wee,
the
you don't mess with Kirk, man. You don't want Kirkio,
no,
man. Come
no,
on.
bro. Watch that dude play
Ooh
football.
wee. That's all
Watch
I
that boy
gotta
play football.
say.
That is so
You like
boring.
that?
That is so boring. He doesn't
I like
move.
Kirk, bro.
He
I
doesn't
like Kirk.
move. He doesn't do nothing for me, bro. I need me a mobile quarterback. And I know that's part of why you like Lamar, because he got some shits to him. He moves
Yeah,
around. He
he's
can
fun to
run.
watch.
He can fling it.
He's fun to
Bro,
watch, but
Kirk,
let's not forget who's my favorite NFL player of all time.
Eli Manning.
So
Can't move at all. Dude,
so I mean,
but
but
Kirk
Eli Manning
Cousins,
had that little bit of like scrambling magic to him a little bit every
bro,
once in a
Kirk
while.
Cousins can't even like step up in the pocket, bro. And you saw that. You
Shut
saw that
up,
the other
bro.
day. You cannot win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. Get him out of there, and maybe I like the Vikings. Give me one person that can take a couple steps in a couple different directions, and maybe I'll like the Vikings, bro. Y'all are some clowns thinking Kirk Cousins was going to win you a Super Bowl. Get out of here. That's all
Let's
I got to say on it.
Okay, I like that. I like that. You just got one at everybody's throat. Um, but also I'll say this: one of the most fun teams to watch, and I hate to say it, but I still can't get behind them, is the Kansas City Chiefs, bro.
So fun to watch. Pat Mahomes is the truth, no matter if
And
anyone
the
wants to
crazy thing
say it
is
or not.
I really I like Pat and I like Kelsey, but like
Yeah,
I'm just a hater.
it's because of them dudes and girls. Sorry, I shouldn't have just said dudes. But
So the people in college
uh
that was just
the people in the
corny.
Berg, all of a sudden the Chiefs were good one year and everybody loved the Chiefs
Yeah, man. It's just
forever.
yeah. It had same thing happened with the Royals, and then after they
And
all
then
the
they
guys
sucked.
left,
Oh
after everybody
no, we suck again.
after everybody left, I didn't hear about the Royals for 3 years.
Oh no, we suck again.
They won the World Series my freshman year, and then I literally didn't hear about them again. I don't think
No. Yeah, that's
once they lost
that's
Haas and Locaine and everybody,
that's the
nobody ever
thing,
talked
bro.
about them.
And the people don't understand, like, it's bad there. And the Chiefs are fun to watch. Like
Chiefs are
their
so fun to
offense,
watch. Yeah,
they're so fun to watch. I personally like I pull for them most of the time. I don't have a team, and I like Travis
yeah.
Kelsey and I like Patrick Mahomes, so I'll pull for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
But anyway, now we talked a little bit about that. The other thing that I wanted to talk about in the NFL, obviously the playoffs are going on. That's neither here nor there. Neither one of us really has a horse in the race right now. So there's nothing we can really talk passionately about because Ravens lost last night and Lamar wasn't playing anyway. So like my I mean, they played at 3 a.m. here, so I wasn't going to watch one. But two, I saw how they lost. It's a block in the back on Mark Andrews. I don't know how that doesn't get called. But anyway, 98-yard fumble recovery to lose the game was tough.
tough,
Um,
tough scene.
but with that being said, I think the Lamar Jackson thing everybody's talking about right now, how he didn't play, he didn't come back, he didn't play in the playoffs, has the PCL sprain. and they were saying it was going to be like a 2-week injury or something. I think it's lasted like 5 weeks or something. I want to say anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know. It's been a while though. I know he was out for a few weeks on my fantasy team, and then he didn't come back for the playoffs like everybody thought he might. Um, and Unc Shannon Sharp was talking about it, and Lamar was agreeing with him. And I've also said, like, why would he come back? If I'm Lamar and you're not going to pay me, you're not going to give me the extension that I deserve. I want an MVP with this team. You know, I'm probably the best Ravens player in the last 10 years. And you won't give me the money that I'm asking for that's on par with other MVP caliber quarterbacks in the league. Why would I come risk my body for you guys when it's a contract year? That's what I think. I think it's smart. And I think he's looking out for himself, which he should, honestly. Especially, okay, the team's telling him, you know, some people in the media are like, put a brace on it. Like, look what happened to RG3 when he put a brace on it. Blew out his whole knee, never was the same again. Never have really had an NFL career after his rookie year.
And like a fairly similar style of player,
Yeah,
like super
similar, very
athletic.
similar
Yeah.
style of player.
Right.
And you're looking at the team like, oh, hey, come on, man. They play for us a little bit injured. You know, they're probably maybe wanting him to play a little bit. People in the media are wanting him to play a little bit. Hey, you got to sacrifice for your team. Okay, well, they got to sacrifice that bag for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? If they don't want to sacrifice a little money to keep me here, then I'm not sacrificing my body to play for you. Point
Right.
blank, period. So I don't
Period.
blame him at all. I think he did the right thing. But what do you think on the situation? You agree with that, or?
Yeah. Could you run me by your most famous saying for me real quick? Could you just run that by me real
I
quick?
don't know which saying you're referencing here, but
About money, my friend.
oh, I gotta get my money up before I get my funny up. Is that what you're
Exactly.
talking about?
Now
It was acting a little. The Ravens
they're
were acting
out.
a little bit too funny
Yeah,
with a little less money than they should have.
they're out here asking Lamar to get funny, throw a brace on an injured knee
Yeah,
without giving him a bag.
without getting
No,
his money up.
sir.
Yeah,
No, sir. We're not
can't
doing
do
it.
it.
Can't do it. And here's the thing, right? I know it's going to be some old people, our father included, that are like, back in the day, dude would have went out there and
Terry
sacrificed for his
Bradshaw
team.
won 6 Super Bowls on a torn ACL.
They were loyal to their team. It wouldn't matter. They knew they were getting a contract next year. They would have gone out and played. They would have done this
Bro,
and
if he
that
goes out
and
and
this
blows
and
out his
that.
knee, though, he ain't getting a contract.
He's not getting a contract, right?
I mean, he's getting one, but
This
not
is
a bag,
this
not a
is
Birkin.
this is a business.
First and
All right.
foremost,
First and foremost, this is a business.
$1 billion
Some
business.
of these dudes, let's be clear about this. A lot of these dudes, I won't even say some, they do not love football, bro.
Yeah, I see
They
some of these
are,
dudes on podcasts talk about basically they're just doing it to get the bag and collect the check. Like, my body
guess what?
hurts. Like, all they talk about really, it sounds like, is that they're sick of playing.
Instead of, I wake up, I take a shower, I brush my teeth, get ready, and I go to a bank every day. These dudes go to the training center and go to
Yeah,
practice, and then they go home and they have a life, and they're real people outside of playing football. If they don't want to risk their body when it's not healthy to play for their job, that's on them, bro. They don't have to.
yeah.
Literally, they don't have to, because guess what? If the Ravens don't want to, somebody's going to pay Lamar next year. And if they have questions, the easiest answer is, I was not healthy. Like, point blank, period. Same with these college kids, like skipping out on meaningless bowl games to like get ready for the draft. I don't ever have a problem with that, bro. Like, they are protecting their pockets, they are protecting their future.
I did
Like,
see, I think I did see like an Ohio State, one of their best receivers skipped out on the
yeah.
college football
But
playoffs, though. That was
but
a
it's
little
like
crazy.
that's a little wicked. But like, there's all this talk about like, oh, you need to be loyal to your teams, and like, guess what? If Lamar comes out and gets hurt, just like you say, they're not giving him a contract. They're signing someone else. They're moving on from him the next day. So they're not loyal to him either. It's not like they're like, hey, come out, do this for us. If you get hurt, we're gonna sign you to
Yeah.
10 years, 100 million. Like, they're
The
not
only
doing that.
loyalty I've seen like that is when Dak snapped his leg and Jerry Jones was
Right.
still like, we're going to pay him the bag.
Exactly. And that's cool. I love seeing that. So guess what? Dak Prescott's ever in that situation, his ass is probably playing, bro, because they showed loyalty to him first.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
like you don't need loyalty like that in a business. It's blind loyalty, man. Like
100%.
unreal. We're just not gonna see it. That's not the way we live these days. Like athletes understand the value of their image and the value of their contracts and the value of what they bring to franchises. And it's no longer the days of like, let's talk baseball, for example. Dad always says, oh, Stan Musial will stay with the Cardinals forever. Maybe he wanted to, bro, but the Cardinals literally own the rights to him. Like, unless they traded him, he didn't have an option to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it was a different time. Now like
Right.
player movement and everything is like of utmost importance, and all like the collective bargaining agreements, I feel like in every league. So like obviously the players are
Exactly.
going to move around a lot. That's just how it is.
Exactly, bro.
But speaking of player movement, the one thing I can't really get behind is the player movement in college sports and the transfer portal. Like I think the transfer portal is cool and all, but I think it's a little bit too much. And the NIL money and stuff, and like the NIL idea we've talked about on this podcast, I thought it was an incredible idea for kids to make money and stuff off their name, to kind of get their name and images back, to being able to own it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just weird now how it's become okay. People used to give the bag illegally to these kids to come to these schools, and now it's literally like going in the transfer portal and it's just a bidding war. Like I didn't picture NIL to be what it is
Don't tell
now.
me you didn't say it was gonna be that. Come
I
on,
didn't
bro.
picture that, bro. I didn't picture these kids. Well, I think because I didn't picture the transfer portal becoming what it is now.
That you could just go anywhere and play
That you
right
didn't have
away.
to sit
There
out
are
anymore.
changes coming, right? There are changes coming,
That
I
you didn't
think.
have to sit out anymore. I think that's the
Right.
biggest thing that made the NIL go absolutely bonkers like it has, is that kids don't have to sit out anymore. I honestly feel
Right.
like they should have to sit out still. Because it's just
Right.
like how are you supposed to I mean, I guess you just get a bag and just give it to all the kids. I was about to say, how do you even build a program
Yeah.
anymore? Money.
Yeah.
Look
You
at
bring
Arkansas
in
right now. Look at Arkansas right now. How Musselman's turning it around with
Arkansas.
uh the
Shit.
with
Look at Dennis Gates and Mizzou, bro.
yeah, yeah.
They were
But I mean,
terrible last year.
but I think this is great leading into what we were going to talk about. You wanted to talk a little bit about the college basketball season and how there's no undefeated teams, and I don't think a lot of people could tell you right now who's going to be standing at the top when this is all said and done this season. Um, I think this is maybe one of the deepest seasons where it's like you could throw a bunch of people's names in the hat and pick one out, and it might be right. Um, like you said, Mizzou's kind of had a turnaround season. Uh, you look at somebody like North Carolina, who was number one ranked coming into the season, and it's more of like okay, they weren't that great. They weren't that great going into the tournament last year, but they just had a crazy run. So it's kind of almost like they are who we thought they were this year. You know what I mean? Like they're not having a great regular season again, but they could go make a run. We've seen them do it before. They have a lot of experience. They have dudes that have been there before. And I mean, I haven't been able to watch a ton of games because they all come on at like freaking 2 a.m., 3 a.m. But I check the scores and stuff and I watch the highlights, and just seems like a lot of talent everywhere. But I think that maybe is contributed a little bit more to the NILs, that you have a lot more talent and a lot more different places in Division One basketball. I will say that. That's the
I
one thing that I think it may
completely
have.
agree.
I think that's maybe the one thing that it has improved, because it was kind of the same thing in college football. Besides Georgia, Georgia was like head and shoulders above everybody, but it seemed like there was a lot of really competitive teams in college football this year too. And I think due to that NIL stuff, that kids realize they can go to get a bag anywhere they go.
Right. I think like the biggest thing is there's just a lot of parity this year. Like you see other years where there's competitive teams and you don't really know who the kind of the national champion favorite is right away. And I think this year is very similar, right? Like you saw teams like Gonzaga, Kansas, and Kansas now is 16-1, so Kansas is really good again. But Houston
Yeah.
take losses early. Um,
Who did Kansas lose to?
Tennessee, I think. I want to say here. Let me look. I got it pulled up.
Kansas is nice though.
Yeah,
They
Tennessee.
reloaded. They reloaded too.
Yeah, Kansas lost to Tennessee, and I think you could say like Houston and Kansas are probably kind of leaders in the clubhouse right now. But if you look around like the Power Five leagues, the schools that were projected to like finish tops, and a lot of them aren't the best teams, right? Like you have, uh, let's see, like the ACC. I forget who was picked to finish first,
North
but like
Carolina, I'm
you,
sure they were
yeah,
one number
yeah,
one in
yeah,
the
yeah, one,
country.
one, one, yeah, stupid. They're one in the country, picked to finish first, and like you said, they're climbing back a little bit, but fell out of the rankings. Like one of the fastest teams ever go from number one to unranked. You have like I think Clemson is leading the ACC right now.
I saw they just beat
Um,
Duke, I think, yesterday or 2 days ago or something.
yeah, they just
Sunday
beat
maybe.
yep, just beat Duke on I think it was Saturday. Big 12, like pulled the Big 12
Look at
standings,
K
obviously
State.
KU, but you have Kansas State who was unranked. They're a game back. Texas is a game back now without their coach. Iowa State again having a great year. Baylor is 3 games back, and there's just like so much different stuff that's happening. One of the podcasts I listened to, Ion College Basketball Podcast, CBS, they were talking about they always try and guess when the last undefeated team will be in college basketball, and it's always sometime in January that they pick, and we did make it to January, but it was like January 2nd, and it was I think the second earliest that there's ever been no undefeated teams. So it's just been a lot of teams taking losses, and yeah, there's teams with 1 or 2 losses, but for the most part, been exciting. And you look at a team like I believe Arizona, they're when they're beating teams, they're winning by like 15 plus points, and when they lose, they're losing by like 15 plus points. There's no like in between. They're either beating the
Yeah.
shit out of everyone or getting clapped. So it's just a weird year. Great to see Mizzou be competitive, and Illinois is fairly competitive as well. Now Mizzou had a really, really, really bad schedule to start, but they have got some decent wins. And then Illinois has been really up and down, but it's exciting. I haven't got to watch as much college basketball recently. I watched the Lindenwood and SIUE play. Shout out the Cougs for the victory on that one, but
Tough.
not the highest level of college basketball you could possibly watch. But it was cool to
SIU's
see a
having a good
couple.
season this year, though. Shout out to them.
They are. Shout out. What's dude's name?
The new coach, I don't know.
No. That's Brian Baroni. He's been there for a couple years. Uh, shoot, the kid
Coach
from
Ellenthal,
Collinsville,
legend.
who's their point guard.
Rayshawn Simmons or Rayshawn
Rayshawn
Taylor.
Taylor.
Rayshawn Taylor.
Rayshawn Taylor. Shout out Rayshawn Simmons.
Rayshawn Simmons is
Moses' friend
other
who plays
buddy. He's
overseas.
from St.
Yeah.
Louis though too. St. Louis
Yeah.
area.
Friends with Brad Beal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out Rayshawn Simmons one time.
Rayshawn Taylor, my bad. Isn't that his name?
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I want to
It
give
is.
big props because we were talking about K-State, and I've seen a ton of their highlights and looked at a ton of their scores because I've been kind of trying to keep up with Keontae
Hey,
Johnson.
Dennis Gates, the truth, the
I've
coach.
been trying to keep up with Keontae Johnson from Florida. Everybody knows supposed to be SEC preseason player of the year, collapsed with a heart issue, and wasn't gonna basically ever get cleared to play again at Florida. Transfers to K-State. Is averaging 18 a game this year. I think leading them in scoring actually. So has him rolling. So shout out to
Yeah,
him.
candidate
Crazy comeback.
candidate for Big 12 Player of the Year for sure. For sure.
Comeback player of the year if they had that in college. 1,000,000%.
Without a doubt, bro.
Um,
Comeback player.
he was a freak athlete at Florida though. Really fun to
Yeah, he
watch.
was nasty. It's good to see him back and performing really well. So
And
for
it's good
sure.
to see my Mizzou boys beating Illinois this year, and been taking care of business. They got their breaks beat off them against KU though at Mizzou. The renewal of that rivalry, that was tough because the fans were talking crazy wet too pregame. Like I was seeing all this,
Crazy.
I
And
was
then
seeing all
just
these
got
videos,
absolutely killed,
and
bro.
they got absolutely blasted. And we had Christian Brown on social media talking crazy. I was like, man, they deserve it. They deserve it.
Rough.
They can hold that L.
No doubt. What anything else you wanted to touch on before we dive
Um,
into a draft for this week?
yeah, I wanted to ask you your Super Bowl prediction, which we forgot to
Oh
ask
yeah.
about that. That's really the last NFL thing we wanted to touch on. And just for fun, give me a college basketball national champion prediction, and maybe we'll come back to this if it comes true. We'll come back, post it, give you your props or something. For the Super Bowl and for college basketball.
Okay. Let me go Super Bowl.
And you can give me a prediction who you think will win and who you like low key rooting for if you want. You know what I mean?
Super Bowl, give me you know what, man? I think I truly think that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl.
I have the
I
same
really
pick.
do.
I got the same pick. I got the same pick.
Okay.
I
I
think the
truly
Chiefs are
think
gonna.
that
I
that's the
really
case.
think the Chiefs are gonna win it all.
I'd love to
Um,
see. I'll say this. I'd love to see. I think it would be a really cool story for the Bills to win. Like I think
it
them
would
winning the
be.
Super Bowl would be
Josh Allen
really
need to
cool.
quit flopping so damn much. So he's been pissing me off.
But yeah, I think that would be a cool story. But I think the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, I think the
And
Chiefs
then
win, but I wouldn't mind seeing the Bengals win because I mess with Joey Burrow.
that'd be sick too. Yeah, Joe
He's
Burrow, the
tough.
truth. Um, national champ. You know what, man? I think it would be really cool if Houston won. I know they're ranked number one, so that's not really like a trendy pick, or I mean, like a out there pick or anything.
But they've been good the
Um,
last few years. They made the Final Four
they've
what,
been,
like 3 years ago?
yeah. I think Kelvin Sampson, like, I think it'd be great to see him win a national championship. I think that'd be really cool. So I'm gonna go Houston.
All right, I agree with that. I think it's tough to do, but I think KU might repeat. Sadly,
Ooh,
not a fan
gross.
of it.
That
Not a
is
fan of it,
gross.
but I think they might repeat. Um, yeah, I think I actually picked them to win it all last year in my bracket, even though I don't mess with KU at all. But like, I was just being honest, and I don't mess with the Rams at all last year, and I was telling people that they were going to win the Super Bowl.
So you're
So
just on top of it, huh?
I'm on a little roll. But I had to give it the props to the teams I don't mess with. But who would I like to see win it all in college basketball? Um, I'll say Gonzaga, just to
Yeah,
finally
that'd be
get that,
sick.
bro. Just to finally
They
get
just,
that.
man, I want Mark Few to get one so bad.
Yeah,
Like
just to finally get that, man. And they've got buddy over there that I like his game, Drew Timmy. Um,
he's
fire
nasty.
mustache. He still got the fire mustache or no?
Yes,
I
sir.
haven't
Yes,
seen
sir.
him
Yes,
play all
sir.
year. But no, I like his game a lot. Just really fundamental, great footwork. Got like every single move you could think of in the low post.
He's
So,
nasty.
so
Filthy.
yeah, I would like to see Gonzaga win if I could see somebody win. But I think KU will probably take it home back to back.
Fair
Even though
enough.
it's really tough to do, I think they reloaded. I think they can do it.
Fair enough. All right. Draft time, baby.
All right, let me
Let's
get
talk
out
him through it, Copy.
my notebook so I can remember who you picked and stuff. Basically, what we're gonna do here in this draft is just like an idea that we had kind of in the notes for a little while. Uh we are going to draft the best nicknames in sports of all times. And I'm not talking about like team nicknames like the Lions and the Bears and the Tigers and stuff. I'm talking about like player nicknames, like things that we call certain players, whether it be like a common nickname that they had for a long time, or maybe something a little more obscure or something. I don't really have any obscure ones that I can think of, but yeah, just player nicknames in sports, the best nicknames of all time. And I'll let Caleb have. Would you rather have the first pick or the second pick and have two?
Oh, I don't care at all. You pick your choice.
Okay. I will go second. I choose second. I like to pick two in a row.
All right.
So go
Um,
ahead. You got the floor, big fella.
man, I'm nervous because I don't know. I think I'm gonna take one because I don't think you'll take it. So the other one I don't think you'll take. So let me start with the kid. Ken Griffey
Ooh,
Jr.
the kid. I didn't even think of that, bro. The kid is a good one, man.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
All right, I'm gonna go with one that I feel like is a lot of people's favorite. White chocolate. Jason Williams. White chocolate is such a tough nickname.
That is hard.
What you got? Or wait, I got two in a row. I
Yeah,
forgot.
you go back and
Okay,
you
my bad,
literally
my
just
bad,
said
my
you
bad, my
wanted
bad, my bad.
to.
right, but now I'm lost a little bit because now I forget. Um, my second pick, just because I think this moment in time meant a lot to us. Um, and I think they called it this, but they also kind of ended up giving the name to the player. And I'll say Linsanity. Does that work or no?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I'm down. Yeah,
Because I feel like they
absolutely.
kind of gave him that nickname as well. Like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was Linsanity, but at the same time, it was also like the arrow was like the Linsanity, like was what
yeah,
was going on the court. But that was like one of the most fun things I think to watch was that like 2 weeks
yeah.
where he was like the
Unbelievable.
best player in the world.
Unbelievable. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. The great one, Wayne Gretzky. I think. I think that one could have slipped. I don't think you would have picked that one at all. But I think he deserves to be up high, right?
Dang,
Like he's the great one, right? He deserves to be up there.
dude, I
You
definitely
forget
would.
I'm in a hockey area now, so I got that hockey shits on me.
Damn, that's like one of the best nicknames ever. The great one. Just to be
Yup.
called that is like
Right.
ultimate respect. Like honestly crazy. All right, I'll go with no, I'm not gonna go with that. I was gonna say something goofy. I'm gonna go with one that I like now more, only because I started watching this show called Rise of Empires about the Ottoman Empire. So talking about like the Sultan and stuff. And I'm gonna go with Sultan of SWAT, Babe Ruth.
Okay.
That's a
Okay.
fire nickname, bro.
Yeah.
And he has a million nicknames though, so but I think that's my
Right.
favorite one.
Literally, Babe Ruth is Babe
The
is his nickname.
Babe, the Great
Yeah.
Bambino, the Sultan of SWAT. What else he got?
That shit.
He got a million. I remember they list them off. Go watch Go Get Culture. Go watch Sandlot. Don't they list off like a million nicknames?
Yeah. The Great Bambino. Oh, I thought you said Baby Ruth. Uh, give me, and this one's gonna be out there. Uh, this one's gonna be out there. So, but it's also from our childhood. Go ahead, give me Rafer Alston, better known as Skip to My Lou.
Skip to my Lou, huh?
Yes, sir.
Skip. Skip, skip, skip. All right. My next one, I I'm gonna go just because of the hype behind it, and I want to go with like a little different sport because I had two basketball in here, and I was thinking about going another basketball one. Um, but I want to go to one of my favorite fighters to ever watch, and I'm excited because he just signed a new deal with the UFC. Let me go with Bones Jones.
John Bones Jones. Okay.
John Bones Jones. I feel like it just fits him so well because he's kind of lanky, gangly, long arms. Bones. It just goes. It just the rhyme factor.
Let me go with a man who I believe is one of your favorite pitchers of all time. Give me the big unit, baby.
Ooh, the big unit.
Rand, Randy Johnson.
And I saved one in the chamber, and I was gonna get it fifth because I just knew you weren't gonna pick it, or at least I was hoping. But you probably have thought about it, maybe. But I gotta go with it because it's near and dear to the heart, and I gotta go with Big Poppy. Come
You
on
know Big
now.
Pappy. You know Big
Big Poppy,
Pappy.
David Ortiz. Back in my day, I rocked the 34. They used to call me Little Poppy, when I was out there hitting base hits to opposite field. No bombs. But yeah, so
Uh,
I gotta go with Big Poppy and ode to my favorite baseball player of all time, man.
I'm really I'm stuck between three people right now. And
You
I
can
don't know
draft
which
one
one.
and you can give me like an honorable mention or something.
Okay. Um I think the one that I'm gonna draft just
Okay.
because of the level of athlete is Tiger. Period. Tiger.
Ooh.
Tiger. Right? Like that's
Dang.
that's the truth.
Oh, and I'm so
Um
stupid, by the way.
Why?
Oh my gosh.
What'd you miss?
I'm so dumb. I was gonna pick it too. It was low key gonna be our number one pick, and then I just forgot about it. I gotta mention it now. Gotta mention
Who?
the king. I gotta mention my guy Braun, the king, King
That is
James,
King
King.
James.
That's up there with the
King
great one
James. That is. That is.
as far as level of
Shoot, that is.
respect.
You better put some respect on that boy's name. The
But
kid
what you
from
got
Akron
for
one
your?
time.
What was the other? What was the other two you were deciding between?
One, Dr. J, just because it's so
Yeah.
smooth. The
Hmm.
other one, bro, just because it's funny and it's tough. The refrigerator, bro. Look at the
Oh,
refrigerator Perry. That's
that's
fire.
tough. The fridge. That was a big body coming downhill, boy.
Yeah.
I'm not standing in front of that and
Big
tackling
old
that.
body.
Ain't no
Yeah,
way.
no. You just hand it off to a lineman, bro. Let him go get one.
Yo, coach put me out there and say, yeah, you gotta stop that.
I said,
Coach,
no,
coach, you know what
thank
they call
you.
this man? Coach, you know his nickname? They call him the
You go
fridge.
tackle the refrigerator, bro.
Now, coach, go home and tell me how many of y'all it takes to move your refrigerator. Yeah, it's gonna take about two or
And
three.
tell me you expect me to tackle
You
him?
expect me to tackle a man that's
Mm-mm.
named after that? Come on now.
Mm-mm. No, sir.
Ain't nobody doing that. Couldn't pay me enough money
No,
to try and stand in front of him.
sirree. No, sirree.
All right, let's wrap it up. Tell me, let's wrap it up like this. Tell me your favorite show or movie that you've watched in the last 2 months, let's say.
Ooh.
You can give a show and
Oh.
a movie if you want to, or something like that.
Okay. Let me go.
Or a couple shows,
Mo-
Just give me something.
movie first. I don't know if you've watched this one or if it's really on your radar, but Emancipation, the Will Smith movie on Apple
Yeah, I
TV
want to watch
Plus.
it. I need to watch it.
Dude, it's good, but you
He
you
plays
definitely
who?
have you know the guy who was a slave. It's a very famous slave photo with like the really torn up back.
Yeah. I've seen that picture side by side from the movie.
Yeah. So he plays that person. Um
Okay.
as far as I understand, supposed to be like fairly based upon. I mean, obviously they don't know exactly what happened, but like based on that person,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Loosely or
um,
something? Or
yeah, and it's all in black and white, man. It's intense. It really is. Like, um, pull out your heartstrings. Like, I, I would assume like a very like a pretty raw depiction of what that experience would be like. So, you got to be prepared to watch it, but
mm-hmm.
it's done
That's
really
good.
well and like shows like how much those people like the slaves had to overcome to get their freedom, even once like
Even
the
once they got
Emancipation
it, they
Proclamation.
wasn't really
Yeah,
wanting to
like
give it to him.
how much they really had to overcome. Yeah, like
Yeah.
because if you were in Confederate state, like even though the northern slaves were technically free, like you weren't, and kind of how long it took for that whole process to really have everyone have the same freedom. So, great movie. I liked it a lot. I think that's the only. I guess I watched Glass Onion the other night, the Knives Out Glass Onion.
Fire.
It kept me entertained for sure. Different, completely different vibe of a movie. So to go from Emancipation to that feels weird, but good movie. Shows wise, man. Melissa and I are watching. Not watching. We finished that in about 2 days. Ginny and Georgia, the new season. Don't care if it's considered to be for women. Great show. Love it.
Me and Riley watched the first season of that. It was pretty good. She started watching
I'm
the
all
second,
about it.
but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, third season came out. I'm all about that. What else have we watched recently? I'm big into documentaries, so I started watching the like the tennis Drive to Survive type thing.
Hmm.
I only got through the first episode, but I think they did correctly by putting Nick Kyrgios as the first episode. That's really going to draw people in. That man is the truth.
It's crazy.
But other than that, watch some of the Bertie Madoff documentary.
You should watch if you like documentaries and like real stuff, so you should watch Limitless with Chris Hemsworth. It's on Disney Plus. It's National Geographic show.
Okay,
He just does like
I'll give it a
different
peek.
challenges to kind of like test his body's limits and like technically it's supposed to be like stuff that's gonna help with his longevity, and he's fighting against, father time basically.
Okay.
Um, but it's pretty neat because they go into like the science behind, like, he like swims in the Arctic Ocean or something, and they go behind the science of like taking ice baths or like taking cold showers, and what it does to your bloodstream, your blood flow, like systems and all that stuff. Like Riley was pretty interested in it, the anatomy of the whole thing
You
that they were
ever
kind of laying
you
out.
ever
So
you ever considered taking cold showers before?
I took one today after the sauna. I take them periodically. I take them. I mean, when I do the sauna, I do like 10-minute sauna, like minute cold shower, 10-minute sauna,
What what do
cold
you think it
shower.
does for you?
I don't know.
Do you think
I,
it like wakes you up and
I
like
mean, it does, but they were saying in the thing that it can help, reduce. It can help like prevent some certain diseases and help, maybe. I mean, like ice baths. I think they're saying can help maybe reduce swelling and things like that. I don't know. So
right?
Melissa would probably know a lot more about this ice and cold treatment than we would.
True. True. Okay, give me yours and then I got one more question.
Okay. My favorite show that I've watched recently is probably Rise of Empires, Ottoman. And it's a historically based depiction of the Ottoman Empire and their quest to overtake Constantinople from the Roman Empire, which basically Constantinople was the last stronghold of the Roman Empire in Eastern Europe, which Constantinople is now modern day Istanbul.
Istanbul was
So
Constantinople.
that's the first season, is that like about that battle. And then the second season, the reason why I started watching it, I was like, let me watch the first season too, because I like history and stuff. And then the second season is actually Vlad versus, it's called like Vlad versus Mehmed, which is Mehmed is the Sultan at the time. And Vlad is actually the old ruler of Wallachia, which is now modern day Romania. So that's why I was
Oh, cool.
interested in watching it. It's like medieval Romanian history. And Vlad the Impaler, like I've heard that name a bunch, or you've heard like the name Vlad Dracula. You've heard of Dracula the vampire. It's basically based off this ruler that they had, and he was impaling a lot of people and like a lot of bloodshed on his watch. But also he's kind of like a little bit of a national hero here, just because he was so like smart and protected his country so well and stuff. That they kind of view him as a national hero, even though he was doing a little bit of like some really questionable stuff as far as impaling people,
Interesting.
and things like that.
I might need to watch that.
But no, it's interesting because it's like kind of like a reenactment. Like if you've seen like these like Civil War reenactments, let's say like that, but with like 10 times better acting and like actual voice acting too. Like these people are actually like, like drawing you into like the characters and stuff like that. But then it's also
Right.
going like it'll flip and it'll be like, like a Turkish historian or something will be talking about what happened and stuff, and then it'll
Oh,
show
that's
you.
cool.
So it's like actually
That's
like
cool.
history based.
Right.
And they give you the facts behind everything. So that's why I liked it. That was my favorite show. And then I gotta give a little shout out to like just a cute little show that me and Riley watched over Christmas, was the Santa Clauses. The Santa Claus is probably one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time. Watch that also over the holidays. And they came out the Disney Plus show, the Santa Claus, is a little corny, not a lot corny probably. But it was like cool little show to watch like around the holidays. If you haven't watched it, maybe next holiday season, go ahead and give that a watch. And movies wise, my favorite movie that I've watched probably the last few months, because I've gone to a lot of movies in theaters here actually, because we don't really have much to do here. The Menu, fire.
What's that? Is that a everywhere movie or
It was in theaters. I think we watched it
the
probably in
menu?
December. But it's basically it said it was called like a comedic horror, but I would not call it a horror at all. Like it was more of like a thriller and like a mystery. You're trying to kind of solve the mystery, but it's also like funny as hell at the same time.
Is this scary?
No, it's not scary. It's not
Okay.
scary at all. It's kind of like similar to like Glass Onion, where you're kind of trying to figure out what the hell is going on, like a mystery like that. But also at the same time, it's just like there's some really funny parts to it, and yeah, some pretty good acting, good cast. Uh, yeah, definitely makes you definitely made you like think, and it makes you the whole time you're kind of wondering like what the fuck's going on, what did these people do to be here and in this situation that they're in and everything. Yeah, you should give it a watch.
I'll take a peek. I would definitely take a peek at that. Okay, last question. Heading in our first episode of 2023. Do you have any? I know a lot of different people do different things to try and do resets for the new year. Do you have any specific goals that you're working towards? Any ideas, certain words that you're focused on, anything like that heading into 2023, whether it's personal, basketball, pod, anything. You got anything you're focused on?
Already failed one of my goals, which was to make every shot I take the rest of the year. That one got failed pretty quick. I always tell myself that going into the new year. And last year was actually my best month of the season was January. So I always just kind of give myself that, hey, you're not gonna miss another shot the rest of the year. That's your resolution. You can't fail it, you know. Maybe like a little psychology. You never know. It might work.
Get
Um,
yourself going.
but no, just to one thing that I haven't been good at, but I wanted to get a little bit of a better sleep schedule, but it's still horrible, so it's probably not gonna happen. Maybe eventually. Um, and I know me and Riley talked about it in our relationship, and then also just me personally is like growing in my faith a little bit, getting stronger in that area personally and in my relationship. So
Sure. Love it.
what about you?
Love it. I got a couple different things. So I have a whole like sheet of stuff and trying to have some accountability with it. I've been pretty bad. Some things have been good, but some things have been not great to start the year.
Got
Uh,
time?
we have like one is about uh just like finding a health routine, right? Like it's tough when you have a kid to
Mm-hmm.
consistently work out and find time to exercise, and that one's actually been pretty solid so far. uh just finding time to exercise, and most of the time it's at like 6 in the morning, and I absolutely hate waking up, especially like last night. Buddy didn't like, he maybe slept like 3 hours last night. We don't
Mm-hmm.
really know what happened, but he barely slept last night. So to get up and get going is tough sometimes, but that's a big one. Uh, a lot of it is about just like being more intentional with my time, right? Like that's a word that I'm trying to focus on for the year. So whether
Intentional.
it's like, yep, intentional. So whether it's like time at home, really trying to like put the phone down. Shit, mom and dad used to always say like, don't have your phone out at dinner. I'm trying to do that here. Like even if we're just sitting on the couch or
Mm-hmm.
something, like put my phone down, take the time. When I'm playing with Carson, try not to have my phone out. Like I don't want to miss stuff with him just because I'm looking at my phone, mindlessly scrolling through stuff. I'm trying to get a little better in my faith as well. The goal is to kind of read my daily devotional, and at least at a minimum like watch sermons on Sunday as if I don't make it to church. And uh I want to read some books, diving into one right now. Maybe that could be something where a little bit of accountability is I can share some stuff on here about the books I'm reading right now. We're reading Talking to Strangers from Malcolm Gladwell. It's interesting. It's about like kind of how we tend to like misinterpret things with when we talk to strangers or when we try and kind of figure out strangers. So it's a kind of cool book, but that's kind of the premise of what I do. Everything just looking to be more focused and more intentional with everything, and some kind of goals to check along the way to get there,
Yeah, I like the book thing. I tell myself that every year, then I end up not doing it. But I told myself I was gonna read more books this year on the road trips. At least read some, every road trip
Yeah.
just to make it better. But I started actually good on this road trip though. This last road trip I did read the book. Um I'm reading the autobiography of John Thompson. I Came as a Shadow, which I
Yeah.
started reading at the beginning of the year, and then I literally put down and didn't touch again for like 2 months. Um, and so I started reading it again on this last road trip. Really good autobiography.
Love it.
Really, really interesting guy. So had a really unique life and obviously a rise to absolute incredible heights in college basketball realm. So
Stardom, baby. The truth.
yep. But anything else you got to say before we sign off here?
That's all I got. I mean, a lot of it falls on me. I got to make sure I'm putting it into my schedule again with the intentionality of it. Make sure we're getting back on track with this. So hopefully talk soon. I mean, at the absolute longest, I think we want to go as like 2 weeks between episodes, but hopefully every week is the plan. So trying to get back into it. We appreciate y'all for waiting. I know we don't have a ton of people that listen, but the ones who do listen pretty loyally. So we appreciate it.
Yep. I agree with everything you said. So we'll see you guys. Bye.
Peace.
Bring the funk back.